What is going on, people? Today we're going to go ahead and talk about our Dragon Arena strategy here in CAE and the surrounding guilds, right? Because we'll get into that. But one of the biggest issue that we kind of wanted to find a solution, and I honestly think it's the biggest problem with Dragon Arena in general. Now, when I say the biggest problem, a lot of you may have different things that you might think about, like, okay, the biggest problem might not be the same for everybody, but as a guild, the biggest problem is, of course, the time slots, right? A guild is 100 members, and it's going to be hard to find a guild where all members can attend one specific time slot all the time. Like, that's almost impossible, right? And so a lot of times, especially with most guilds, and especially starting out, what you had to do was kind of find out what time slot most of your guild could go to, and then go to that one. And let's say 60% of your guild showed up, or whatever number that might be, you're still leaving out 40% or whatever number that is of those that just can't make it. So what happens then, right? Like, if you're in a guild that does Dragon Arena at a specific time, and let's say it's like 4 in the morning for you, you kind of get left out, right? So that really generally is the biggest issue with Dragon Arena and guilds in general, is just the time slot. And especially here in CAE, considering we're international, we have people active at all times of the day. Picking one time slot is it's rough, right? Like, you can have one time slot, 50 people will show up, and you can have another time slot, you'll have 50 people show up as well, but it's just different people. So it was rough. So here's essentially what we came up with. Now, you guys know that Dragon Arena buses are not necessarily a new thing, right? But we do ours a bit differently, right? You guys know that there are some Dragon Arena buses that what they do is they take members from 2 guilds, 3 guilds, however many, right? And they put them all in one guild. They put a lot of like the stronger leads in there, etc. And you have like 80, 90 people show up, which is viable. But that's only viable if those members can only show up to that Dragon Arena, right? The time slot for that one. What happens to the members that can't join that one guild? Where do they go? Do they just not do Dragon Arena, etc.? So here's how we actually ended up fixing that problem, essentially, right? What we did is we have host guilds for most time slots that we needed, that most people needed. And what we do is that we have a poll that's sent out to all of the guilds that are involved in this, and people fill out their information, you know, their in-game name, can you hold a fort, what's your stats look like your battle or your wonder battles research, etc., just to have an idea of who can lead a fort, who shouldn't be leading a fort, etc. And we have everybody fill out the poll, but we also ask them, what is the time slot that you want to attend, right? Like, there are people in CAE that just cannot make it, and they go to another time slot. I know that with CAE, most of us will go to either CAE still or at MR, and that's where we do Dragon Arena. But contrary to what people believe, right, what we do with ours, we don't just send all our strongest leads to MR and, you know, try to get everybody else in there. No, we go solely based of what people can attend. So if you take a look at MR right now, it's getting filled at the moment. And in CAE, we are having people leave and go to their respective guilds. Now, here's how this breaks up, right, at the moment. So the 3 slots that we don't really have much for right now, it's slot 1, 2, and 3. And that's for obvious reasons. A lot of times that's like super early in the morning and more catered to like the Chinese players. But we actually would love to have 3 more guilds kind of fill in that gap. And that way we can have one guild for all of the slots, depending on what people want to do. But right now we don't have a slot 1, 2, or 3. So if you are one of those guilds that do slot 1, 2, or 3, and you want to be a part of this, let me know. Put it down in the comment section, your line ID or guild name, etc. And maybe we can work something out. Maybe get you in on this. So anyway, what we have is for slot 4, which is the first slot that we have people go to Pen. And this is the one that we have right here, Pen. we have people go to pen. Now all of these shells, they are in the Master League, and a lot of times they have pretty easy wins just because where they're ranked is usually fairly easy wins because their numbers are going to be much higher, right? So slot 4 is pen. We have slot 5, which is LOF. I'm sure you guys are familiar with LOF. LOF, a lot of times their Dragon Arena isn't very competitive, if you will, so that's why I haven't really posted much. But you know, we generally get 70 to 80 people in LOF, which it works very well. And also, I'm very proud of LOF and the leadership in LOF and everybody involved in growing the guild. We have been doing really well, so very proud of them. And they've been rallying with us in this kingdom and everything, which is very cool. And then, of course, the next slot, which would be slot 6, this is where it's either CAE or AdMR, depending on which shell we're going to be using that week. And then, of course, we have slot 7, which is Meh, which is right here. We have Meh, which is going to be the slot right after. And then the very last slot is going to be AI, which is going to be, what is that, slot 8. And I think we have somebody right over here. Yeah, so AI. So what we do is we have people fill out this poll, fill out their information, and then tell us what time slot they can attend. And then once everybody fills out the poll, we assign everybody to their specific guilds. And then those guilds then assign the people that said that they were going to show up. They then assign them to forts and fillers and all of that jazz, which is a lot of extra work, but just giving you like the simple explanation. So a lot of people might think that CAE, what we do is we just take all our strongest leads and put them in one shell, and then that's how we do it. But actually, a lot of our strongest leads don't even do Dragon Arena in our own time slot. They go to different time slots. So we don't even have most of our strongest leads with us. And that's because, you know, they some of them might have to do it at 4 a.m. and that's just not great for them. So they go to another guild. So CAE, I know that MR is known as the CAE, like Dragon Arena bus, but it's more than that, right? We don't just have everyone from CAE go here. We just have the people that can actually attend go here. But CAE members also go to LOF, they also go to Meh, etc. And the end goal for this is not necessarily to win and get drag out all the time, which is great. But the biggest thing is to make sure that we find a home for everybody that actually wants to do a Dragon Arena and just cannot make it for the usual time slot that we do it in. Because yes, we can do it in CAE, and yes, we can probably get 60 to 70% of the guild show up at that time slot. But then what happens to the 30 to 40% of the guild that can't make it? Do we just let them lose out on Dragite? Let them lose out on more Bullmeister metal if they don't have a gold, or just lose out on the jewels if they don't have them? Like, so this is kind of like trying to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot at getting the Dragite. And although it's a lot more work for the people in the background, the ones that are doing the assignments, the ones that are running the polls, etc., which, by the way, shout outs to them because they do an amazing job and they're keeping this thing going really well. But for the player, like individually, all you got to do is fill out the poll. Today we send out the mail about where everybody should be going as far as what guild you should be going depending on the time slot that you signed up for. And you as the player, all you have to do is make sure that you are at the right guild before reset today. That's all you gotta do. It's very simplistic, right? And then come DA time, go to the guild at the time slot that you signed up for, and there you go. You have Dragon Arena, you have assignments, etc. We have a channel that's just for Dragon Arena calls and all of that good stuff. So it's not our Dragon Arena bus is not just to make sure that we have this like overpowered guild with all the strongest leads and the best fillers and blah blah blah. That's not really what we strive for. We just try to get everybody at the right time slot that they can make it, that's the best for them. I would love to put like all the strongest leads and all that in CAE or AdMR, etc. But if they can't make it or it's an inconvenience for them to make it, I'd rather them just go to somewhere that they can actually benefit from doing Dragon Arena. Now, does that mean that all the wins are always guaranteed, etc.? Not really, but Dragon Arena, the wins are never really guaranteed unless you're just like a super strong boss that has all the champion players, etc. Dragon Arena is all about teamwork, but you also do need some decent leads, so there's also that. So nothing is ever guaranteed, but this is probably by far the easiest way to make sure that people show up when they need to show up, when they're available, and they have a good chance of making sure that they get the win and their solo points. So this is how we do it in CAE. So, matter of fact, look at our chat. You just have a bunch of like people leaving and going to their guild. So once that's done, they'll come back, and then come Dragon Arena time, everybody just goes to their guild whenever it's time, and then come back. That's it. It is a hassle during Guild Fest week because you have people doing their quest and blah blah blah, but it's not really that bad of a thing because we do send a mail telling everybody, listen, you gotta make sure that you're in your Dragon Arena guild before reset. So be mindful of the quests that you take. Don't take long quests. Don't take quests that you may or may not be finished with, etc. Be mindful of that. So we do tell people about that. Undoubtedly, I'm sure that there's always going to be one or two that don't listen and do their own thing. But hey, that's on them. So yeah, that's what we do for Dragon Arena. That's what we've been doing for Dragon Arena. And that's just to try and maximize the Dragai that people can win on a week-to-week basis. So, like I mentioned, we do still need guilds for slot 1, 2, and 3. And even though those are more like Asian time slots, we may have some players that may need to go there, etc. So, like I said, if you're one of those guilds, make sure that you leave your information in the comment section, and maybe we can get you in on this. And if you're just interested in general, let us know, because maybe we can work something out depending on the time slot, etc. But at the moment, the system that we have in place is very good. It's very effective, and seems like everybody's kind of acclimated to it already. So it's working out really, really well. I'd be kind of surprised to see how many guilds are still doing like just their guild at that specific time slot, because at some point, some members are gonna be like, "Yay, man, can I go somewhere else and do Dragon Arena, because I can never do it here." You know what I mean? So that's all that we're doing. It's a lot of work, especially if you're in the back end doing the assignments and all that stuff, but it's benefiting our members quite a lot, because for the most part, like, our whole guild goes to a DA guild. Like, there's only maybe like a couple of players that don't, and if you don't, I mean, that's also your choice, right? Like, we give you all the opportunities to go to a guild that will give you a chance to get Dragai. If you choose not to, that's on you, But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I would love to see if people are doing something different or something similar even. That'd be great to see. But yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through, and until later.